What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the PT Coffee Cast, brought to you by The Movement. My name is Dalton, and unfortunately, not alongside me today is my beautifully bearded friend, William. I'm coming at you with a solo episode today. It's been a while since we've done this, but Will is off doing some branding work with the guy that helps us do brand stuff for The Movement, for the PT Coffee Cast. We have some fun stuff in the works for things at The Movement, so he's off doing all that. I'm going to come on and do a solo episode today talking about the 3 things that have been important to me when looking for a mentor. But before we get into that, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you aren't subscribed to the podcast, make sure you subscribe on your podcast platforms. If you want to see my beautiful face, Will's beautiful beard on the podcast, we do our video episodes on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that YouTube channel. It's the Movement PTs YouTube. We are trying to get that up to 500 subscribers by the end of 2024. So if you can help us fulfill on that goal, it'd be awesome. And you will also get some cool, fun content there as well. We're doing some other things outside of the podcast there. So check it out, subscribe, and make sure you don't miss out on anything that comes out on that platform. And then lastly, if you're interested in the mentorship, themovementmentorship.com is where we put all things mentorship. We actually just did a live webinar around imposter syndrome. It was super great. Had great engagement with the people that were in the group. We are looking to get more people involved in those webinars. So if it's something you're interested, let us know. Let us know some topics. We'd love to be able to put more of those on and connect with you guys there. But enough of that stuff. I'm going to dive into the episode for today. Excuse me. So a big topic we hear a lot about, speak a lot about, and is actually very important is the idea of mentorship. So I'm very aware that we're in the mentorship game. We have our own mentorship. We work with, younger clinicians, older clinicians, anyone who's looking to have some guidance with the stuff that we're doing. But we've also, myself personally, have worked with a ton of mentors. And honestly, if it wasn't for the mentors that I've had in my life, I definitely would not be where I am at this current time, 5 years into my practice. So I'm very grateful for the mentors that I've had in my life. And I want to share with you guys 3 things that I have found to be effective in looking for a mentor. I don't want to say it's like the 3 things your mentor needs to have. Like everyone is going to have different criteria for what they want in a mentor. But for me, this is what I look for, and I've had good success with some of the mentors that I've had in my life. And before we dive into that, I do want to say, like, a mentor does not need to be someone that you see in person. It also doesn't even need to be like a one-on-one relationship. I've learned a ton of things from books, podcasts of people that I classify as mentors in my life that I've never met ever in person. So don't underestimate the power of those things for mentorship, but you still need to have a criteria for what you utilize to select those mentors, whether it's from just reading their books versus like actually getting the opportunity to work one-on-one with them in person. So for me, the 3 things that come to mind are alignment, open-mindedness, and collaborative. So I want to break these down. I think, the first one that's the key to the success of a mentorship is alignment. Being aligned with your mentor is going to allow for you to get the most success out of that relationship. And I use the term relationship very intentionally because I do believe that a mentorship is a relationship between you and that person. And so alignment, right, is important to be there because when I look at it, there's a couple things. It's like, one, we need to see the world and see whatever it is I'm getting mentored in a very similar way. So like my values as a person and as a clinician is going to be very aligned with the mentor that I choose. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything. I hope we don't agree on everything, but from a value standpoint as a clinician, I am going to look for someone who is practicing the way that I practice, who has the same mindset relatively to how I have, uses similar principles. That way we're aligned on what that looks like. And the other thing with alignment is I personally look for people who are ahead of me in the sense of like, if they're where I want to get, if they are doing what I want to be doing, I'm going to go and seek out those people that are actually doing that. And I think that's a really key thing, because I think a lot of times today we see these mentors, quote unquote, or these people who have all the answers that aren't actually doing the things that they're saying they're doing. And I think that that is not someone you want to align with. I think you want to align with someone who is in the trenches doing exactly what you want to be doing, or very similar to what you want to be doing, and doing that on a daily basis, because they are going to give you the truth. Because no one is going to know what it's like to actually do what they're saying they're doing without doing it. You can't just like write books about it. You can't just do podcasts about it. Like, you have to be in it and learning about it on a day-to-day basis. So I think that is really key when it comes to alignment is, are they aligned in how they practice in the way that you want to practice? Do they have similar principles and values to you? And are they actually doing the thing that they say that they're doing that you want to be doing as well? The second thing is open-mindedness. So I think this is a huge trait that is important to the success for most of us as clinicians, but I think to have a mentor that is very open-minded is important to be able to bring them thoughts or topics or ideas that are maybe a little bit out there. Maybe they don't actually align with what you guys believe in or your principles or your values. And consider them, because I think there is an important aspect to exploring things that we don't necessarily believe, or that we don't necessarily do on a daily basis, or that might be really out there in left field, and to approach those with an open-mindedness and consider those things is super important. And you don't want to be working with a mentor where you come to them with a question or a thought or something that you might think is important, and they're very closed-minded to this and shut that down and kind of make you feel stupid for even bringing it up. Those are the worst kind of mentors that you want to have. Now, I don't think it's bad to have a mentor that is going to be hard on you, who's going to push you, who's going to challenge you to like do your own thinking, or to answer questions on your own, or be a little bit maybe hard on you. That's not a bad thing, but to be closed-minded, to shut your ideas down, to think that, to make you feel stupid for bringing things up, those are the very last people that you want to align yourself with. And I think in our profession as clinicians, open-mindedness is a key to helping moving this profession forward. So finding someone who's open-minded is very, very important. And then the last thing on that list of 3 things, which is now evading off my mind, so I'm gonna delay this so that I can think of what the 3 things were. What did I bring up? I said open-mindedness, alignment, and collaboration. There it is. We got it. I think it's because I haven't had enough sips of coffee yet. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll talk about collaboration. So collaborative. I think that having a mentor that values the relationship and values you as much as you value them is key to the success of a good mentor. So I think of the mentors that I've had in my life, and they have valued my thoughts, my perspectives, my positioning, my skill sets, and they have learned just as much as I've learned from them, from me. And I think that idea is very, very important. I think it ties into the open-mindedness, but you want to align yourself with someone who is not putting themselves above you or are too big to be able to learn from you. And I think I liken this to a lot of our client interactions, is like, you want to have a mentor that is on the same side of the table as you and is not sitting across from you dictating to you and telling you why they have all the answers and this is what you should be doing. They should be alongside you on the same side of the table, working with you to help you, but also to take pieces of knowledge from you. And when I look at myself now as a mentor, the cool part about being a mentor is that I actually end up learning so much more from the people that I work with than I ever thought. And so I'm very grateful for those relationships with the people that I'm mentoring, because they're teaching me. So it goes both ways. And I think aligning with a mentor that views it as a relationship, they view it as, I'm going to get on the same side of the table and I'm going to work alongside you, is very, very important to the success of a good mentorship. And if someone isn't willing to do that, I think you should consider reevaluating that relationship. So those are the three things that I think are, you know, something to consider. For me, they've been three things that I use to, choose the mentors in my life. They may not be the three most important things for you, but I think these are things to consider when pursuing it. And I know as a new grad clinician, the one thing that they harp on is like the importance of getting a mentor and the importance of mentorship, and search out a clinic that gives you mentorship. I think we like to throw that term around a lot because it's like a catchphrase that people align with, and you can see this in a lot of different realms. But you see it in physio, in clinics, in their job descriptions. They put, "Oh, you'll get one-on-one mentorship in this many hours." It's like, yeah, it's a nice thing to like throw out there, but what does that actually mean, and what does the quality of that mentorship look like? And as a new grad clinician, when I was there, I really looked for mentorship over most other things. So I didn't choose to go to like a job that was going to be, full time, and it was going to have a full caseload, and I was going to get to see a lot of people. Like, even though financially that might have benefited me, I decided that, hey, I'm going to go to this place because there's a mentor there that I align with, that is open-minded, and that is collaborative. And that is what's paid off for me. So I think be very diligent in what the word mentorship means. And when people are saying, I'm going to mentor you, dive into that. And you should be exploring and questioning and interviewing, quote unquote, those people like pretty hard. Because if this is someone that like you're going to align with and work with, and you want to gain knowledge from, like, you want to make sure that it makes sense. And I would hope that the mentor that is also bringing you on as a mentee is doing the same thing. And if that is the case, that is going to be a good marriage of a relationship there. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Let me know what you think. If you think there's some other things that are important to consider in a mentorship, drop it in the comments on YouTube, or I'll leave a little poll on the Spotify to ask you what you think makes a good mentorship. You can hit us up on Instagram at PT Coffeecast and let us know there. But I would love to hear from you guys. That's all I got for today. If you guys aren't subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that on your podcast platform so you don't miss out on any episodes. If you aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel, head over there, subscribe. You can get the video episodes of the podcast. You can get some of the other video content that we're putting out there. We're really trying to build the YouTube channel up this year in 2024. So if you support us, appreciate us, take value away from anything that we put out, head over there, check it out. And then lastly, if you are interested in mentorship, we offer mentorship. You can look at themovementmentorship.com, see if it's right for you. And if you want to learn more about how we approach this, what we do in the mentorship, you can schedule a call to chat with me personally. We can talk about what it looks like. We can see if it makes sense. We can see if we align. We can see if you think I'm open-minded enough or we're open-minded enough, and you can see if we're collaborative. And if it makes sense for you, we'd love to have the opportunity to get you into the next cohort. So that's all I got for today, guys. As always, stay caffeinated. My beautifully bearded friend William will be back on our next episode, so don't worry about that. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.